Welcome back. John here, Hot Rods in the Woods. Part 2 of how to make a fat boy seat. You can start to see just how much fatter it is. All of a sudden it looks a lot wider. So what I've done is I've just put some foam in the middle. Because it is the middle of the seat, it's not as critical, right? Because your butt cheeks are sitting on the upholstery. So by doing that, I now have the proper amount of foam in here. It's all about the same density, feels real good. I haven't sat in it yet. I probably should at one point, but I have all my old alignment parts right where they should be, which in itself is pretty amazing that I actually got it that close to start with. It is sitting up a little high, and that is because of the springs. There we go. So, and it may look just a little bit crooked, but once you sit in it, it's not. And once the upholstery's on it. So, that gives you a rough idea how it's all going together. We aren't worried about this because it gets more stuff over the top of it. I can clean that up a little bit with the, whatever they call it, welting, felting, I don't know. I'll go get a piece and I'll show you. I'll be back. So this is what I was talking about. I don't know what you call it. They use it for filling the inside of a quilt. If you know anything about quilting, it's like a batting or something like that. But anyway, my wife doesn't like this stuff because it's way too light. She likes a quilt with some heft to it. So we put this over the top of everything and we glue it in place, and you can see how it just starts to smooth everything out. So I'll be doing that. Now, to give you an idea, when we bought one of the quilting machines, it's Sewing Machine Central here, we got a little bit of this stuff. And when I say a little bit, that's 10 foot wide and 3 feet across. That's a big old roll. So I can cover up a lot of flaws with a whole lot of that. We're actually going to use it on the inner fenders in here to smooth them out a little bit as we put upholstery over top of those, and a few other things that it just makes a good filler. So I have no idea how I'm going to attach this. I'm supposed to glue it, but I think what I have to do at this point is I have to get the frame out of the way, and then I have to just work with the cushion. So let's see how that all goes. Move this for the minute. We get this out of the way. I probably ought to sweep that thing off, or at least grab a rag. It's been a welding table, you name it. This thing is another Harbor Freight deal. The reason I got it is because I had a couple things that were so heavy that I couldn't move them. And it worked out good because it goes up the same height as my tailgate. So I did that. Uh-oh. Don't stick yet. I think I better do the top first. Does it look like I know what I'm doing? As if it does, that's surprising. So all I'm trying to do is just get it about centered. Hey, all of a sudden my front screen just came on again. Look at that. Okay, so I'm back again. For some reason it doesn't show that it's charging when it's actually on. So I just learned something. But my front camera, or my front screen, is now working, so I can actually see that I'm in the frame. You don't have to see my face, but if you want to, there it is. Okay. So I kind of centered this thing up. And what I'm going to do is just real lightly put a little A little glue, not a lot of glue, just a little glue. We put a little glue. If I use too much glue, it makes the foam hard. So here we go. Not a lot of glue. Then I have to set this. I only get one shot at it because as it lays down, it is going to stick. And there's that part. I'll go ahead and do the back. Nope, I'll go ahead and do the front. I don't know what I'm doing. I think we've already had this conversation. But you know, you don't learn a thing if you don't try. Not a lot of glue, just a little glue. Now we'll do the back. Actually, the front. I don't know. Let's try the corner, see what we get. I'm trying to pull it just a little bit up to try and keep the wrinkles out of the front. And then I'll do some trimming. Now I need my scissors. Where did I put my scissors? Well, they aren't there. I don't know why I'm being quiet. It's like, geez, we're doing surgery here. Okay, so I want this to be a smooth transition in here, right? So I kind of need to just cut this wedge out so that I still get my curve up here in the front and I get a nice transition into here. So if I take my scissors, once again, don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing this with you as we go. If I take my scissors and I just cut this line about to the corner, then How's that look? That looks pretty good, but I think what I need to do is I need to take this. If you catch me humming as I'm doing this stuff, it's a character flaw. I don't know where it ever came from. I've been doing it for years. I just kind of hum as I breathe. It's weird. So there's a pretty good little transition there. So I'll go ahead and glue this piece, and I'll pull this down. Now you can start to see how it's going to come together. What do you think? Acceptable? I think that's a pretty nice little curve. I don't think you'll feel that lump, but I could probably, if I can take a little bit of it out maybe. Looky there. Okay, that's pretty good, I think. Okay, so I'm going to start with the glue here. I think that looks pretty good. Now before I go any farther, I'm just going to trim that a little. Let me get rid of this garbage here. And look, if I don't like it, we'll make it the passenger seat. We can always do that. Now, I don't know if I should roll this over. The pipe is there. I think I'm gonna. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, now I'll do the same thing on the other side. Sorta. I kind of did this one different. I don't think anybody will notice because it's going to be under upholstery. I had glued this just a hair farther up, so I have a little bit of work to do there. There we go. Okay, I'm doing this one kind of the opposite of the other one. What I'm going to do first with this one is pull this down because it's longer. And then I'll put the other one in place. First we put a little glue. Now you can kind of see where I'm going with it. And then this one will overlap into it. And I missed a piece. Oh, Nice thing about this stuff. My wife might not even notice that. Okay, so there. Now you start to see as it smooths out, it comes together. It starts to look like a seat. So we'll fiddle with that a little bit more. And then it's time for the other half of this team to start making some upholstery. So I'll be back in a little bit with the next step on this. So I think I might have come up with a plan. Strap material. It's tougher. It's plenty strong enough. I can do kind of like a lawn chair, where I'll put a rivet in it, then I'll wrap it back around itself and run it down to the bottom. Sort of like that. I don't know why that wouldn't work. And I'll rivet it there. So, I'm going to do some riveting, some cutting, some melting, and we'll see how that works. I will be back in a bit. Okay, so what I've done is I went ahead and just put my straps on, riveted in place. They're pretty tight, remembering that they will flex anyway. So that'll keep me from falling through the hole, right? So that's where they sit right now. So onward and upward, I just used the pop rivets. I double riveted the top here, single riveted the bottom there. They'll last better than tape, I believe. So onward and upward. It's turning into a seat. Okay, so we determined that the springies ain't going to work the way they are because as soon as you sit in it, they collapse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch them out one more and see if that doesn't work better. In the meantime, my wife is starting on cutting the accent parts for the bottom of the seat. So we'll see how that goes too. So I'll be back.